Summit Center started about 4 years ago, opening its doors, and probably 6 years ago envisioning with my colleague, Dr. Susan Daniels, where we met at a conference, and it was a gifted conference, and we just started to talk about all of these wonderful kids and all of their intensities and their sensitivities and how all of these abilities that they had and how a lot of them ultimately get stuck with some of the obstacles that they face and some of the school situations, environmental situations, and home situations that keep them focusing on their weakness profile as opposed to their strength profile. So at that time, we visioned this place where we would have multiple services for all members of the family, where we can really help understand a child, help understand what they're able to do, if they're having some weaknesses, where we can support them, and put together an overall plan of health that is strength-based and that allows people to maximize their goals.
Largely self-taught. How did you learn that? Where did you learn to read? We never talked about that. Where did you pick that up? Some kids actually have a specific range of interests that they go really in depth on. You know, they're working on their PhDs at age 6 on dinosaurs. And other ones, they love everything, and they just go from one interest to another. They just bounce around. Slaying the worry monster is a team effort. That's why we're all here to talk about it. It's a parent-child effort. It's a family effort. It's a teacher effort. It's a community effort. And how do we slay the worry monster? How do we help children overcome their worry, their fear? That's why we're talking about a whole model of looking at how to talk to them about the worry monster and how it works in their brain and in their body. And then replace the thought with something that's healthier and more adaptive, and one that we tell the kids the worry monster hates. The worry monster hates when we come up with a rational thought where we use our big thinking brain. Because the worry monster is counting on that we're going to believe his thought. Gifted kids are tricky. Sometimes they have things going on, like diagnoses like we're talking about, and sometimes they look like they do because of just their own personal development, or because the environment is putting pressure on them or not appropriately meeting a need, so they have all of this behavior that looks pathological. Or you don't even articulate it, you just start making your day more fun and exciting, which is not so fun and exciting for your teacher or other classmates. Again, Asperger's disorder. Think about all the engineers that you know. Think about the Silicon Valley. Guess what? Some of those people are 2E. Some of them have Asperger's disorder. A lot of them are just engineers. But again, we want to focus on behavior, and we want to focus on what a child needs, as opposed to getting too stuck on diagnostic categories. You might have an 8-year-old who has the reasoning ability of a 15-year-old. They might have the mathematics skills of a 12-year-old. They might have the social skills of an 8-year-old. And they might have the emotional regulation of a 4-year-old, all at once. That's asynchronous development. Being gifted is invisible. So you often look just like everyone else, but you might start to act a little differently. Dyslexia, 1 in 5 people in every classroom is dyslexic. So how do we keep these kids intact if you're 2E, you're very bright, and you have trouble reading? Feeling good about themselves, feeling that they're not dumb because everyone reads faster than them. You know how many of these kids are crying at the homework table because something is too hard? Or they're crying at the homework table because something's too easy. Or they're saying they hate school because it's boring. There are 100 different directions to take what they're passionate about and make it learning. It's all learning. They're there to learn. And how to make that fit with the realistic challenges of the standards that we have to meet. Trying to understand where they're coming from. It doesn't excuse behavior. We have to understand behavior. All too often, these kids are misunderstood.
Because I think what happens a lot of times these days is kids are reacting to a lot of environmental circumstances that are going on in the kitchen or going on in the family room or going on in the car or the carpool. And they're not having time to sit and reflect on their behavior and engage in purposeful behavior. And I think that choice time really gives kids a chance to develop and a chance to reflect based on their developmental stage.